I really hate the lighting in my room. I actually hate how my room is decorated. You're seeing the bare wall in my room. That's actually not mine. That's the homeowner's. Um, and I'm supposed to leave it there. Um, Big fish, little pond. I feel like this connects to my previous video because it kind of has that same energy of like, ooh, like in my last video I was talking about how I don't like working jobs, like everyday normal jobs, minimum wage jobs, jobs where you're working for a corporation because they're unfulfilling. That's basically what that video was. And this one's about like feeling like the people around me are not operating at the same level of consciousness that I am. And both of those things sound super, I know they sound super like stingy and kind of like I'm on my high horse. Um, that's not really like the place that they're coming from though. Like I think that people operate from the level of consciousness that they're comfortable operating from. Um, and that's okay. Like that's fine. I think for me, when I say big fish little pond, it's kind of like gotten to the point where I've gone through so much and I've done so much work on myself and I've processed so many things and I've feel like I've sought after truth genuinely. It's kind of getting to the point where the people, either the people that are around me in my life or the people that I'm attracting or that I keep kind of interacting with, are people who need me or like are relying on me to help them do the things that I did for myself. Like when I try to date, a lot of the times I feel like I take on the role of like I'm someone's journal or like I'm someone's therapist or I'm someone's like emotional support or I'm kind of like the guide to them. Um like instead of those people kind of taking the initiative to do those things on their own, I kind of become the place where they learn about themselves or like process things. And I'm not saying, I know that that should happen to a degree in relationships, whether it's family, friends, romantic relationships. So I'm not saying that's like bad if you learn about, like, that's kind of one of the main reasons I feel like to have friends and to be in relationships is so that you can learn and grow and expand yourself and see yourself in a new way. But I feel like it's kind of to the point where like I'm not even being seen as like a person. And I'm not saying these people are like on doing this thing like, sorry, I'm not saying that these people are like creating this dynamic on purpose or like consciously. I think that it's like an unconscious thing that's happening. Um but it keeps happening. Like I don't feel like a romantic partner. I don't really feel like a friend. I feel like someone that this person needs to like guide them. And I can't say that that's just their fault. Like I feel like a part of me, because so much of how I get into relationships and how I operate in relationships is defined by that. My ego is super attached to that dynamic. Like my ego and my confidence and my sense of self also relies on the fact that people like hearing what I have to say about them, that people rely on what I have to say. People really want my opinion. People really want me to be a space where they can process their emotions. So like I get like an ego boost out of that. Like it makes me feel good in the moment. But like when I really like do my own emotional processing, which doesn't really happen um, in my friendships and relationships. I will say I have a few family members that definitely have provided that space for me, and I'm super comfortable with that. Like to some degree, like I feel like with my family members, I have to kind of compartmentalize the parts of myself that I can process or like talk about with them. But like when I really think about it, like I want to. It's kind of tricky. Like I say that I want to receive and that I want to have a connection where I'm kind of I'm treated like how I treat other people. But at the same time, I'm really scared of receiving because that's shaky for my ego. Like it makes my ego, it's uncomfortable for my ego because I'm not used to that. I'm used to being smarter, even though I'm not really smarter than people. I just feel like I've been alone for longer and I've done more like contemplative introspection. I know that there are people in my life who have higher IQs than me, like they're more intelligent, but maybe they're just not as conscious. My ego is gratified by the fact that I'm smarter, or I'm someone that people really want to know, like what I think, and they rely on what I think or whatever, or they like rely on me to help them see things. Um, but I'm never really like receiving that, and that's my fault too, because if I were to receive that, I'd be putting myself in an extremely vulnerable position, or like I would care a lot and be very deeply emotionally connected to a friend or like a lover, because they're actually reflecting, they're giving to me and I'm receiving for them, and they're like reflecting back to me too. I don't really know if that makes sense, but I just feel like I'm stumped in my life, in the sense, in terms of like relationships and like where I'm at like geographically, or like the town that I'm in the town that I've lived my entire life. I'm around the people I've been my entire life, other than like the people that I date. Um, and I feel like where I'm kind of at is that, like, okay, I've learned the lesson that I can be in relationships and I can have friendships where I'm comfortable, where, the time is nice. Um, we're able to kind of, enjoy each other, and where I'm the person that's giving and I'm the one that's shining light and I'm the one that's conscious. That's the lesson that I'm in right now. I can have that, and I have had that, and I could have it if I wanted to. And I would be comfortable. My ego would be extremely comfortable doing that. But what always ends up happening is that I'm not fulfilled here because um, I'm not receiving. And like relationships are both receiving and giving. Um, and so I'm moving. I'm moving out of my pond because I'm too big of a fish. And that, I know that sounds incredibly narcissistic, and I kind of hate myself for saying it, but I shouldn't say I hate myself. Um but I feel like I just need to do something different. Like I literally need to like swim away. Um I don't really know how to receive. I don't know how. Just kind of like how I said in my other video, I don't know what it would look like to be self-employed. I don't really know what I would be doing to be self-employed. I have some ideas. But I don't know what like truly receiving looks like. I don't know what it feels like to be able to lean on someone else's understanding, or like lean on someone else's consciousness in a way that's actually genuine and like truthful and safe. Like I feel like people do that to me a lot, and I provide a lot of space for people because I try to do that for myself too. Um, but I don't know what that's like. And again, I know that kind of sounds like, oh, I'm such an amazing person. I've just dated all these people who aren't conscious and all that stuff. It's not really like that. Like I know that it's about me too. Like I know that I lean away from like receiving and like leaning on people because I'm so used to leaning on my understanding and having to process things on my own and being independent and making space for myself, and like I just feel like I've always had to do everything like by myself. Like all of the hard stuff, all of the deep emotional stuff, I've always had to do it like by myself majorly. Um, and so I don't know what it's like to receive. And I don't know, again, this kind of sounds conceited, but I don't know. I feel like there's a small amount of people out there who have done the same amount of work on like their consciousness, or like who they are, and like even basic things like thinking and like critical thinking and stuff like that, where I feel like I can lean on that, like where I could receive from them. And that's just something that I have to trust is going to be revealed to me. um, because again, like I said, I know that I can have relationships where I'm the giver, where people are relying on me, and that feels really good for my ego. It makes me feel smart. It makes me feel wanted. It makes me feel like the person is like tied to me because they view me as a place that shines light on them in a way that they can't shine light on themselves. And I don't know how to get across that bridge. I don't know where to find relationships or how to find people where that's not the dynamic. And I feel like I'm doing that to myself in some way that I can't see. So, yeah, I'm moving. I've I say I'm moving, but I have a lot of things I need to get in order before I can say that. Um, I'd like to move to Arizona. I just traveled there and it was amazing. And I hate the heat. I'm such a fall and winter person. Actually, I'm a spring person at heart, but if you were to ask me if I'd rather be in summer or like fall and winter, I'd say fall and winter. Um, but Arizona just blew my mind. And I feel like there's a certain place in Arizona specifically that's undergoing like rapid economic growth and population growth. So it's like the perfect time for me to fit in there because they're looking for people for apartments and stuff like that. Uh, so yeah, I feel like I need to get out of my pond. Also, this says Gemini, if anyone's wondering.